This one's for you, big guy. What's up, everybody? It's the Bergerac, and today we have got to talk about Ludwig and our dear friend Pirate Software, who have decided that the best course of action for their gaming company is to gaslight people into believing they're victims because they got review bombed, even the status of their games is currently doing just fine. So this happened a couple weeks ago when the Stop Killing Games stuff was like fever pitch, where everybody was shitting on Pirate Software, you know, understandably, for his behavior and what he said about the Stop Killing Games initiative. He decided to put out a statement saying that he was going to back down from the off-brand games company. He's no longer going to be working there, and the reason that he gave was because they were getting review bombed and it was impacting the company because of his presence, and so he was taking one for the team. A real good guy. So this all started with Pirate putting out a post saying he wasn't no longer working at off-brand, people attacking all the games we're publishing and trying to mass review bomb them. You can dislike things I say, but this kind of behavior is unhinged. Learned a lot there, accomplished a lot, hope they succeed regardless. Love those dudes and loved working with them, hope they keep cooking. So first of all, I don't know that I would call review bombing unhinged. If you make a shit ton of people mad and you're incapable of actually addressing why people are mad at you, they're gonna go after your shit. However, people who are mad at Pirate didn't even go that far because the review bombing didn't happen. And we'll get into why that's the case here in a minute. This did get community noted, as it should, but I just want to show you what he says before we actually do some research here. So after that, Ludwig says that he agrees with Stop Killing Games. He thinks that it's a great idea or it's a good initiative, but he claimed that a few bad actors review bombed and harassed developers of the games they support. Appreciated Thor stepping down for the betterment of the devs and their games. This got community noted, saying that Rivals of Aether 2 hasn't been review bombed, which is like the game they currently have out right now, and they have a couple more upcoming. Verifying this is as easy as opening the Steam page and looking at the graph of reviews. And so when this first dropped on July 2nd, a bunch of people, you can see the ratio, commented and called him out for lying. Somebody posted the graph right fucking here. All you had to do was apologize, but I guess being a compulsive liar is how you made it so far, so why change? And honestly, they're not wrong. I mean, he has lied about fucking everything, and whenever people catch him in a lie, he tries to say that he never said that to begin with. I don't understand how his mind works, but he's also 37 years old, so I guess if you make it this far in life, doing the things that Pirate's done, you're gonna just keep going. It's too late to change. I don't know how I didn't know the man was almost fucking 40 years old. He's Quartering's age. He's literally the Quartering, but on the opposite end of the spectrum. Also a liar, also a loser, also incapable of actually making any meaningful change in his life. Although I don't think that this guy's an alcoholic, so that's a plus for him. So after Pirate got ratioed really hard, he decided to try and combat this. He says, for those trying to say this is somehow a lie, the abuse was across socials. People on Discord, Twitter, Reddit, and some reviews on Steam. Indie games are fragile things, and attacks like that hit hard. Overall sentiment was to bash the games and the developers working at them to try to get back at me. Not worth bringing them down for my opinion. Also, stop it, get some help. I would like you to show the class some proof, Mr. Pirate. Like, if you're gonna sit here and claim you're getting review bombed, it really shouldn't be that hard for you to provide some screenshots of it. It's the same with when you're claiming you're getting death threats, you're claiming you're getting doxing threats, you're getting harassed, all this shit. You're getting sent nasty pictures of like gore and violence and like dead bodies, shit like that. You know, the typical things people claim to be getting sent whenever they're getting harassed. Obviously, I'm gonna just say real quick as a side note, I don't condone it, but that's the typical stuff that I see when people claim this is happening to them. You would show some screenshots of the shit you're being sent. With the claims of being given death threats and getting review bombed, stuff like that should be very easy for you to screenshot and post on your page to show people this is what I'm dealing with. Instead, he just puts out this blanket statement telling the unhinged people to get help. I'm starting to think that he's like got some form of schizophrenia where he's seeing this shit in this warped reality that he's stuck in, but it doesn't exist because he's sitting here so confidently saying something like unhinged people are attacking my company, but then you're not going to provide any evidence of that happening. Like, just say you're lying or just say you're wrong and you don't care. I just don't get what his thing is. And part of me, the rumor mill part of me feels like Ludwig told him to step down because he's such an unpopular person. That's just me speaking into the ether. I have no evidence for this, but unlike Pirate, I'm gonna tell you straight. I just think it's very interesting that Pirate stepped down. If he's doing it assuming that this kind of thing is going to happen, sure, but it just feels odd, the timing on this. So we should actually check the Steam page and see if there are review bombs going on, right? So the game they have published right now is Rivals of Aether 2. It's a sequel to a hit indie fighting game, Rivals of Aether. I have to admit, I never played it, sorry. But when we go down to the review section and we go by most recent, so in the last 30 days, the first two results you see that are most recent dropped negative reviews. However, they seem pretty well written. This one that was dropped on July 3rd, the day all this stuff was happening, it opens with talking about the fake drama about review bombing that happened to artificially inflate the positive review count. But this person has also played the game for 25 hours. So he didn't just download the game, played it for a couple hours so that he could review it and then drop this shit. He's actually engaged with the game at least a little. So personally, it shows bias, but also he's not all that wrong. If you're sitting here and crying about review bombing, most people who are going to be supporters of you turn around and try and fix it. It's the same where when there's like people who review bomb, you know, like the anti-woke freaks that review bomb movies that have gay people kissing in them, they'll have like a shit ton of zeros and then a shit ton of fives. That's just kind of how it works. But if you look at this, the majority of the reviews prior to July 3rd and July 2nd are positive. There's 7,800 reviews on here, and the game has an overall mostly positive total. Even the recent reviews are mostly positive. So I don't think you're telling the truth about being review bombed. But let's take a look and see what else Off-Brand Games has. Ethermancer. It is overwhelmingly positive, and it has the most recent reviews are 86% of the 29 used reviews in the last month are positive. So I guess that one didn't catch any of that review bombing either. Bonnie Bear Saves Frog Time looks like a lot of fun. Maybe not something that I would personally play, but all 73 reviews that are out for it right now are saying very positive. So again, I'm just not seeing where this is coming from. There is one recently posted review that dropped, and this I think would probably be the kind of review he's talking about. And even this one guy responded to him and was like, you went ahead to prove him right. But it's only one review. He says, I came here after Pirate Software said people were review bombing Off-Brand Games titles. I'm disappointed both in the lack of review bombing and in the game. I mean, it looks like he played the game. I don't know this gentleman, so I can't say whether or not I can't say if 1.2 hours is an appropriate amount of time to leave a review. However, yeah, I wouldn't be coming in here and saying this knowing that, crying about getting review bombed, because you are honestly proving his point. But at the same time, it doesn't bother me that much that he did that because it's one guy out of 73 reviews. All that being said, the review bombing is bullshit. Ludwig needs to get his head out of his ass. He needs to distance himself from Pirate Software as much as possible. It seems like since this happened, he hasn't engaged with him at all. Pirate has got to try to shut the fuck up one time. And if he can't shut his yapper one time, learn how to use the words I'm and sorry in the same sentence and actually mean it. Because to this day, he still hasn't taken any accountability for any of the bullshit that he's pulled, and that's why people are still fucking mad at him. I completely forgot that all the drama that he was involved in happened back in January. The Pirate Software versus Stop Killing Games thing is fairly recent, but it just didn't occur to me how hot the pressure has been on Pirate Software since January. I mean, at the rate this shit is going, he's going to keep catching shit for the rest of the year, and he has no one to blame but himself because he has been losing subscribers steadily since this shit happened. He has lost 10,000 subscribers daily since July 1st. He had a huge spike in November 2023 when he was doing his YouTube shorts and he just kind of gamed the algorithm and blew up his channel. Stagnated for a little while, was getting solid subscriber numbers, hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands. And then January 2025 hits and the crash begins. He has not had a positive month since December of 2024, but it is going at a much faster rate. Before he was only losing 10,000, 30,000. Since June 14th, he has lost 170,000 subscribers. And I can't imagine that this is gonna help his algorithm like at all. He had 115 million views in January of 2025, and then it cratered to 31 million in February, stayed that low in March. He got a little bit of views back April, May, June, he drops again. It can only be worse because it's gotten so much hotter this month. When you look him up now too, his channel doesn't even come up. You have to scroll to find Pirate Software. He is pretty low here on the totem pole, and again, he has no one to fucking blame but himself. But the thing is that Ludwig is still attached to Off-Brand, and I think that especially after what happened with Mango, more and more people in the mainstream are starting to realize that Ludwig's also kind of an asshole. To me, the only redeeming quality he has is that he's dating QT Cinderella, and I think she's really funny, and I also think she's really pretty. So that's a dub, I guess. But anyway, that's really all I had to say about that, and I hope you guys did have a good weekend, and the rest of your week is lovely. And I will see you in the next video.